President, do you have a New Year's resolution?
I have.
Let's hear it.
Peace on earth.
So the US just bombed Venezuela, and Trump announced that they captured Nicolas Maduro. Happy New Year, by the way. Now, this was very much expected to happen. If you want a long-form analysis of the escalation that led to this point from the US side for the last few months, you can check out the 35-minute video we posted last month that aged quite well in just a few weeks. But the main question is what happens now in Venezuela. Because the capture of Maduro happening literally a few hours into the first large-scale US military operation in Venezuela leaves a lot of questions open. Like, what happens to his government? Does it collapse immediately, or is there a line of succession that manages to keep control of the country and, importantly, of the military? Because the most likely outcome to all of this is that the US is going to want to install Venezuela's Trump-supporting, pro-business opposition leader Maria Corina Machado, who dedicated her Nobel Peace Prize to Trump, called for the US to invade and depose Maduro, and met with US business leaders to discuss investment opportunities in the country. And the reality is, Maduro was and is incredibly unpopular. A lot of people in Venezuela wanted him out of power anyway, so it's entirely possible that there's an orderly transition of power and everything goes incredibly well. But one, we're not there yet. Two, this act of war against Venezuela was done without congressional approval, which is not within Trump's constitutional powers, but dictators don't care about the Constitution, so... Three, the history of US military intervention and regime change in Latin America is incredibly brutal and has resulted in some of the worst dictatorships in the region. And four, remember that this speech was done only a month into the US invasion of Iraq, and in some parts of Iraq, US troops were greeted with people celebrating in the streets. In hindsight, it didn't really solve that much. Saddam Hussein was a really bad dude, and there were legitimate reasons to want him out of power. But the invasion of Iraq and the war on terror completely destabilized the region and has resulted in an estimated 4.5 million deaths, both directly and indirectly. And it's one of the main causes for the rise of ISIS and other terrorist groups that tried to fill the vacuum and capitalize on the chaos caused by regime change. So even if you wanted Maduro out of power, which there's nothing wrong about that, we don't know the consequences of this yet, but they're likely to extend beyond Venezuela and its immediate neighbors. Now, maybe I'm wrong, and the transition will go incredibly smoothly, and the hypothetical future government of Maria Corina Machado will live up to her Nobel Peace Prize. After all, it would be nice if 2026 broke the pattern of the last few years, and for once, things turned out better than expected. But I'm not holding my breath, so follow for more.